Sarah, talk to me about all of the DeSantis 2024 blood in the water, best day of his life. He is now the odds-on favorite to be the Republican nominee. Tell me what your views are on
Um,
this.
okay, let me just do a coda to what Tim said here because it's so important. Here's what Republicans have to deal with going forward. Everybody right now is doing this weird thing. Like, I'm glad that all the Twitterati anti-antes are like, this is Trump's fault and we're ready to move on. Which, by the way, for the last 2 weeks, all of them have been so out in front of themselves on red tsunamis and we're gonna destroy and like whatever, happy with all these candidates that you got perfectly fine. And now they're all like, this is Trump's fault. Rah, rah, rah. People want to move on because look at this election. Okay, let me just tell you, there are primaries and there are generals. They are different kinds of races. Donald Trump pulled all those crappy candidates across the finish line in the Republican primaries because Republican primary voters want those kinds of candidates. And so the box that Republicans are now in, and this is just from a broad analysis, I'd say this is like the main thing that I come away with from the swing voters is like, they put these crazy candidates up, they're poison to swing voters. Bing, bang, boom. Like that is what happened in 2020 with Trump. It's what's happening right now. And so they've got a problem. They're boxed in on this and the idea. And so this is where we get to DeSantis. So I wrote a long thread yesterday about, which I thought maybe you might be mad at me, JVL, because I write it for the Bulwark. I just just ranked it out on Twitter. I'm sorry, but it's like a mean face. But I got all annoyed at all these people who were acting like, Ron DeSantis, it's obviously going to be Ron DeSantis. And the fact is, and there were a bunch of people sort of tweeting this about how, anecdotal evidence, like Tim Alberto was like standing in line asking people, and a bunch of Republicans were saying, I don't want Trump to run. I want DeSantis. Okay.
He was in suburban Atlanta.
Right. As you have heard me say.
No shit.
Yeah, no, that's right. As you guys have heard me say many, many times, number one name that comes up in the focus groups is Ron DeSantis. And after Trump, if Trump doesn't run, who do you want? They say Ron DeSantis. And there are many people who will say, I don't want Trump to run. Like, we're ready to move on to these other new stars. They want DeSantis. That is a chunk of the party. It is available to them, potentially, to a candidate who can harness it. My question is, these guys all think that Ron DeSantis is the God's gift to politics. And what I want to know is, I have seen no evidence that Ron DeSantis is the kind of politician who can stand toe-to-toe with Donald Trump in an arena while he has rally after rally where he clowns DeSantis, where he has his crazy Oath Keeper supporters menacing DeSantis, where, all of these election deniers that Trump did help pull, that Trump endorsed, who were all in safe places, so they all now have won, not in the swing states, but out in safe seats, who all love Trump and all ran in Trump's image. Like, I don't think these guys have an accurate sense of the base. This was always the case. Trump owns the base, and the base is sufficiently large to win Republican primaries.
Also, the base is Trumpier because the Trump drove out a bunch of those marginal R voters.
That's right.
Who are now either not Republican voters or who are swing voters. And so the base is Trumpier precisely because Trump has failed, right? I mean, it's a vicious cycle, not a virtuous cycle.
Yeah, and can I throw one other thing out there? Let's say that their wet dream comes true and that Ron DeSantis is up for it and that he does squeak out a victory with Donald Trump, or even not even squeak out. Maybe he wins. Let's just do their porn. Let's say Ron DeSantis 69, Donald Trump 31. Okay? Let's say that happens. What do you think's happening with that 31? You think that 31 is all
they'll
getting
just
on
be
board?
Loyal soldiers.
Yeah,
totally.
All of them. Some of them will. What do you think is happening to Donald Trump? Do you think he's going to go be the warm-up act at the DeSantis convention?
Oh yeah,
in 2024?
Yeah, he'll just be a good shoulder. He'll
know that he's talk about his pal Ron and talk about how he's going to go out there and get people to go vote. And by the way, what and do we think Ron in that primary is going to be able to appeal to the Brian Kemp, Mike DeWine, Chris Sununu voter while he's running a primary against Donald Trump? Or is he going to have to try to beat Donald Trump by going crazier on how we should prosecute Fauci harder and build a bigger fucking wall? Like, what do you think Ron DeSantis is going to look like? If you looked at last night and thought, oh man, I think what America is looking for is to Floridify America. I think what America wants is don't say gay and trolling Disney over a lesbian kiss and like, yelling at reporters and whatever, all the things people like about Ron DeSantis. I think you're on drugs. Okay, like what the types of Republicans that did well in the rest of America north of DeSantis stand were the like much more mild mannered ones. The ones who were much more technocratic. Like those are the ones that really performed well when you're looking at the swing states, which Florida is not anymore. So I just, maybe we're sniffing our own glue this morning and we're on a high post midterm high, but I think that fantasy is like something that looks real good at 2 tweet lengths. If you're an anti, and like when you start to game it out, like starts to get pretty damn ugly.
Hey, hope you enjoyed that teaser of the Next Level. Click the link down below for the full episode and head on over to the Next Level YouTube page and click that subscribe button.